want to deal
Regarding
with it?
therapy, I had a lot of benefit from going to therapy for about 2 years, 3 years. But I have the suspicion that therapy in Romania is very different to what therapy is in the US or Canada.
How was that for you?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Therapy in Romania is probably a bottle of vodka and a slap up the side of the head.
No, it was very technical.
There was a lot of analysis over the kind of statements that I was making and the kind of beliefs that I was holding. And
Was it a male therapist or a female one?
A female therapist.
Okay. So you got benefit from a female therapist in Romania. Interesting. Okay. Carry on.
We got to the source of a lot of my internal tension, and I actually wanted to work through it. But 3 years in, I decided it was taking too long, and I don't have 20 years to get all of this fixed. And I went to Peru for ayahuasca.
And you solved everything in a ayahuasca ceremony?
Well, I think I solved most of the things that I wanted to solve. I definitely got a huge benefit, and as a consequence, my life cleaned up afterwards. But I really wanted to get better and to fix some things.
Question for you: like, how useful have you found psychedelics for dealing with shit? Ayahuasca, psilocybin.
Well, here's the thing. If you have the intent of fixing stuff, so it's not just recreational for you, there's a lot more benefit than just the marginal benefit. The benefit that you get by just going through the motion. There were people there that did the same things that I did, took the same doses, and didn't exactly get the same benefit or to the same extent. So psychedelics, I think, they're a very important tool on your journey of fixing some things. For example, one of the traumas that I had was that because my mom died when I was 10, I was missing the female model in my life. So my relationships were kind of messy. I was avoidant, and I couldn't connect with a woman. So like I was having sex, but there was no connection. Everything was black and white. There was no color. So that only came very late in my life.
Interesting. Well, it was work for somebody at least. I mean, I've done marriage counseling, before, and that was just a colossal waste of time. That just demonstrated to me that I had married the wrong person. It didn't solve anything.
Remember,
if anything, it got me to the point of, okay, so now I have more clarity faster, and it's time to untie the knot.
Remember,
it's a sort of clarity, anyway.
Yeah. Sorry, 50?
Yeah, remember when Donnie Brasco got out of marriage therapy in the movie Donnie Brasco, Johnny Depp?
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, just to echo Dragos' point, I went to see a female therapist probably like 10 years ago, and I went in and I sat down on her sofa, and she goes, "You look absolutely beaten," she said. And of course, naturally, I was married, and she encouraged me. Actually, Rich Cooper advice. She said, "You have a group of guy friends," and she said, "Why don't you join a drinking club? There's tons of Irish drinking clubs around." So I did. That was literally, she said, "Get a tribe."
Get a tribe of men and get drunk.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, go to man stuff.
Yeah.
But Moff, you mentioned some great points yesterday in the chat about cooking, and if you want to discuss some of that, I can drop a few names and a few suggestions.
One more thing that I'd like to add is that
go ahead, Dragos.
For me, therapy was very educational. It was like, hey, okay, let's see where you are. Let's make an analysis of what you're doing, what you're saying, what you're thinking, what you're feeling. Okay, we've done the analysis. Let's work on this. Once you've done this, we can work on something else and move forward. And it was not like Yeah, it was like school. Like, here's what you need to do, and now you go do it. If you don't do it, you won't improve.
Excellent points. And look, going back to what Draga says, and what I've noticed since I delved into a load of the Stoic philosophy, is the reason why these men, Zeno, Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius, Plato, why their names that roll off people's tongues 2,000 years after they died is because their wisdom is unbelievable. And yeah, but it's a lot of what I've noticed is a lot of these, people who are offering therapy online advice nowadays are literally just ripping off what these guys are saying 2,000 years ago and repackaging it and sugarcoating it. And it, like
there's no real new ideas and solutions in the world today. They're just repackaged is all it is. They say that, what's the line? That advice is like a form of nostalgia or something along that. It's like fishing something out of the garbage, cleaning off the nasty parts and then selling it for more than what it's worth.
But you will find that a lot of stuff you hear echoed from, like, you could turn on Joel Osteen, Dr. Phil, any of these people. I can listen to these guys and I'll see Marcus Aurelius pop up. I'll see all the great quotes from all the just being repackaged. And it's if you read this stuff, like, it'll do you a lot more mental good than some of the stuff out there. But you run across someone technical, like a friend of mine's. He's an actual psychiatrist. He's an Asian guy, Korean, and he's a real solid guy. Some of the wisdom that dude drops about just not giving a crap about stuff once you get over 40 is probably some of the best advice I got.
Yep, people worry about stuff that doesn't require a thought for the most part.
Yeah, you also have to keep in mind that being a self-didact, learning by yourself, is not always the fastest way of dealing with an issue. Like, when you have somebody else, like a coach or what my therapist was to me, it's much easier to know when the things that you think that you've learned or integrated are actually the things that you need, or maybe it was just a misinterpretation of an advice or something that you read. So it's kind of important to work with a professional, I think.
I look at therapy and therapists as the same way I look at, personal trainers, or I think it's difficult. It's extremely difficult to find one that knows what they're talking about, wants the best for you, and doesn't want to keep you sick. So you're going to continue to keep paying them year after year after year. It's the reason why I generally don't think men should go to therapy, at least here in the U.S. Like, the APA is a sham of an organization. It's got this feminist, liberal, woke agenda. It's completely dominated by women in the U.S. I think it's like 80+% of our psychologists are female. I think men do better with more of a coaching model than a therapy model. And people will come after me. People come after me about this and say, oh, well, therapy is different for everyone. But I think when we talk about therapy, we're talking about talk therapy. You go into an office or you get on a Zoom call now in 2023 and you lay in a chaise lounge and you talk about how you're feeling and this and that. And so for a lot of people that do it, it's this vicious cycle of, I go to the doc, I talk about all my problems, I get to feel better because I don't have other people to talk to because nobody cares because I'm a man. And then I leave feeling better. And then slowly over the course of a week, I feel worse and worse and worse until it's Thursday again, time to go back for more therapy. So it becomes this endless vicious cycle of just feelings. And so what I think therapy doesn't do for the vast majority of people, especially the vast majority of men, it's not concerned with treating the sickness. It's concerned with treating the symptoms. It's about how you're feeling. It's not about the underlying reasons that you're feeling depressed or you're in bad moods all the time or that you have problems. It's more of, how do you go? It's, men need to change their lives and be more satisfied with their lives. Well, how do you do that? You get good at stuff. You get the body that you want. You get the women that you want. You get the money coming in that you want. And if most men would focus on taking care of those three things, I think, first, and then if there was other stuff left over, I think, look, do I think there are guys out there that have legit stuff they need to unpack and deal with? Absolutely. But do I think that the average man is depressed No, I think they're just unhappy about their plight. And I think that they have a lot of work to do. And it's easier to be told by somebody that you're special and that your feelings matter than it is to have somebody like us say, shut up and do the work and then see how you feel in a year.
Yeah, it's interesting that humans are the only species that sit down and talk about shit and pay to sit down in a closed room on a couch to somebody that has a degree framed in mahogany on the wall, right? It's like, you know, what did they do 1,000 years ago?
Well,
they took the guy out for a hunt.
You kept it in house. That's the thing. You kept it in the house. You kept it in house, right? You didn't go share it with somebody else or share it with a stranger.
No, you took the guy out for a hunt. You figured it out,
right?
But it's also
cut in for a minute right here. The kind of therapy that you guys are talking about, I would call that, I don't know, psychological masturbation or something.
Perfect.
My therapy sessions were hard. At some point, I was sweaty. I was exhausted by the time the meetings were done. We did hypnosis a few times, and I just went back home and I went to sleep. It was a lot of work. It was not, okay, so what did you do today?
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that, but going back up to Moff's point, it is a business at the moment, and you can go through YouTube or your feed, and there'll be ads popping up all the time, and they'll literally be bombarding everybody, telling them there's something wrong with you. You need a therapist. You know, it's like, and you know, that to me is the what do you call the light and fluffy coffee can, you know, cotton candy type of therapy. I'm broken, just as Moff said, I'm special, I need to be this. But as you said, Dragus, and I know a couple of people that have gone through stuff like you've gone through, and they've like, it's literally like they've been in the gym for 3 hours when they get out.
Yeah, and if you really want to put in the work and go ahead and better yourself, yeah. Again, also, I think there's an issue and the big difference. Like Romania is an ex-communist country. Over here, the entire healthcare system is a lot different. You don't get prescribed pills just so that, I don't know, big pharma companies can make money off of you. So there's not this entire predatory system that wants to keep you hooked on their services, on their products, on whatever, doesn't exist here. So it's not like that.
Yeah,
So even with a therapist that would work with you, and if in 3 months you don't get better and you don't improve and you don't put in the work, they'll just quit you. They'll tell you, like, you don't want to do the work, go on, find somebody else.
I really hope you guys enjoyed that clip. If you want to watch the full-length podcast, you can find that over here, that clip's from. If you're newer to the channel, make sure you hit subscribe over here, and pin down below in the top comment, you'll find a bunch of useful links to my website, my supplement line, books, and a bunch of other stuff. Have an amazing day. Peace out.